Hello there!
Hi everybody.
So today we're at someplace interesting that is exclusive to Florida itself.
Yes.
We are in Sarasota, Florida at the Ringling Museum and Theater and Gardens and House and
Art Museum.
Everything else.
Part of the state of Florida University. And for those that don't know about Ringling, I feel bad for you because you never got to see the circus. This is the winter home of John and Mabel Ringling, who owned Ringling Brother Circus, which later became Ringling, Barnum and Bailey.
Right. So there is a whole lot of stuff that they have. They have an art museum, they have 2 circus museums, they have the gardens, the house.
Yes.
Was that it? I think I covered all of it.
There's quite a lot.
So there is a whole lot to do here, but we got to tell you there are a few limitations when it comes to filming. So you may be seeing a whole lot of still shots today, but we're going to try and show you as much as we can. It is what, 65 acres?
66 acres.
Okay.
You were close.
But yeah, that is our goal, is to show you guys as much as we can. But like we said, there is limitations as to what we can show you. And so our goal is just to show you as much as we can.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. I am excited. So let's get going.
I am too.
Now we are standing in the middle of Mabel's rose garden. Of course, due to the time of year, not many roses are in full bloom, but you can see down there a whole bunch of statues all along the rose garden are different statues, and each location you can see there are rose bushes in several different spots all the way around us with those statues. It's absolutely incredible to see all of this. We also noticed that the white rock that are around these roses aren't white rock at all, but seashells all the way around these roses. You see a bunch of these guys, they're pretty lazy, they keep lying around. Path starts out with this sun compass on the ground, and then as you head up you can see there is the house. It's got such beautiful architecture. We'll show you as we get closer. Of course, you can see to the right is a reflecting pool. Look at the balcony, all the carving into it, and as we move up you can see sort of like these statuettes carved into the terracotta, and then the different stained glass. We also noticed on this outer balcony you can sort of see tile up there that is laid completely. Absolutely incredible. These statues continue around all over the property. As you can see, this is sort of the view you get. We will go on the terrace to the left here in a moment, but that is an incredible view. You got to remember that the buildings out there, like hotels, obviously wouldn't have been here, so they would just have this entire view to themselves with no building obstructions or anything. Now this is the back side of the house. I wanted to show you the tile that's laid out here on the terrace. I like the zigzag design.
One of the things we learned was that Mabel actually supervised all of the terracotta and the tile design herself.
Wow. But all of this is different forms of marble, isn't it?
It looks that way.
And then, Mom, you said that John and Mabel had a yacht?
Yes, they used to dock the yacht at the back of the house.
Just right here.
Yes.
Look at that house back over there. Now, that isn't part of the property, but still, that's also an incredible house.
Yes, it is. Kind of Venetian in style also.
Now, it is starting to rain. It is a rainy day. But once again, look at this incredible view that they would have to themselves at the time. Also, I like these little lanterns. I know they were installed afterwards, but I still like them. So we are going to head into the house now that we have finished with the terrace, but we can only take photographs. We cannot film. The inside of the house is just as beautiful as the outside of the house.
Gorgeous.
Some incredible architecture. The doors had fabric on it.
Some of them.
With like ribbon and stuff. There was a wooden piano. Well, most pianos are wooden, but like...
It was beautiful.
Yes, it was like an oak piano. There was an organ.
Golden chests, statues, lots of tapestries.
On the ceiling, there were different paintings.
Yeah.
There was in the smaller ballroom, so they also used the grand hall as a ballroom, but in the smaller ballroom there were 22 different depictions of different cultures dancing
in the ceiling.
In the ceiling, yes. And then at the end it showed us the bedrooms and stuff that are upstairs, and the master bathroom had so much marble in it.
Yes.
Like the whole thing was marble.
It was just gorgeous.
Now, Mom, you gotta promise not to tell anyone about this. Don't tell anyone.
It's a secret garden.
I said don't tell anyone.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not your fault. Look at these guys. They're telling each other.
Right?
They're probably telling everyone. And they don't believe it. Look at them. But yes, this is a secret garden. Mom!
What?
Bamboo!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh.
Actually, I got that joke from this woman over here, so you probably should just give her a hand.
Yeah.
Now, John and Mabel are both here, with who we believe is John's sister, Ida, being watched over by the statue here. Now, they were moved here. They weren't originally buried here. Now, Mabel had replicas of some very important statues made. As you can see, this is David, which was actually censored in its original location by the Pope of Italy.
At the Vatican.
At the Vatican, yes. Which they put a leaf over David's crotch so you can't see anything.
Yes.
But there are so many other statues just around the entire location.
It's almost like this is her version of the Colosseum.
And you really can't see it from here, but farther back, I can kind of point it out. Right back there is Atlas, a smaller version of Atlas. Now we are about to enter the Museum of Art, which is a very large building. But we're not going to take you with us.
I think they said it was like 21 galleries.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we want to show you the circus stuff.
Yes.
So we're not going to show you this. As we said, it is a lot of artwork, and a lot of it is from the Renaissance that is left. So John actually built the art museum while he was alive, and collected all this artwork. And there's a whole lot of Renaissance paintings. But not only that,
he bought rooms.
Like, of a house.
Yeah. Of like another mansion that was being demolished. And he bought the rooms at an auction.
Yes, at an auction.
Give me the room.
Can you imagine, like, having enough money to be like, you know what, I'll just take the room.
Yeah. Just relocate it. Like the artwork in the texture of the ceiling and the wallpapers, like the whole room.
He took fireplaces, like ornate fireplaces. He's like, you know what, I'll just take that. You know, imagine having that much money that you just walk into an auction and you're like, I'll take the paintings, but I also want the wallpaper and the crown molding and everything else, just the whole place, just the whole room.
So I did read that in his time, and he died in 1936.
I believe so. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, most of the stuff is where he had bequeathed it in 1936 upon his death. At one point, he was valued at $200 million for 1936.
Yes.
Now today we have billionaires.
So he was a Rockefeller, is what he was.
Pretty much, yeah. he was like one of the richest men at the time.
Yes. But I cannot fathom walking into an auction and just being like, I'm taking the whole room.
Yeah.
Just everything in it. I've heard of buying out an auction, but buying out the room is just another level. Because buying out the auction is just buying everything that the auction is selling. But yeah, just buying the room, that's dumbfounding.
And there's a lot of marble, like Venetian marble, and Italian marble, and marble all over the place. Marble is extremely expensive even now.
Right, exactly. So we are now going to head to the Circus Museums and show you guys a little bit of that, because that's what y'all are here for. There is no fitting way to enter the Ringling Museum without going to the big show main entrance. As you come in, there's this huge mural. Just humongous. These are full-size people in this mural. Wow. These are the different circus posters for headlining women. Just seeing the different posters. They're pretty good size. They're very well done. They're very detailed. Just very well done. And these are different newspaper clippings, different cutouts and advertisements for the shows. Inside here there's a 3,800 square foot miniature model of these trains and loading the different animals on the trains. You can see some horses lined up there. It's so large. It's actually on both sides. Walking down this hallway, you can see some zebras over there, some camels. Now you may look at these cars and think, well, what was on here and how come they had so many of them? Well, in order to be able to get around town and to move all the equipment, of course they had to have the vehicles and the carts, and that's what they are the cart holders, and those are the stoppers, or the wheels, and then the cars. And then you can see all the workers and the town people coming in to see the circus unload. Here you can see this cart is moving the stakes with all the horses here. They have the food and the produce.
It's nighttime.
Yep, it is nighttime now. You can see all the way down with the lights. So you can see here there's all the apples, heads of lettuce, fruit and all that for the animals. You can see the grills for where they're making food for the workers. And then further down you can see all the workers in the commissary gathered and eating. And all the wood back there for the wood burning for the stoves. Here you can see the elephants are pulling sort of like their Christmas get up, heading down. Further back you can see the horse tent with all the saddles back there. What is this? This looks like the bands, right? All the instruments.
And they even have like a barber shop to go get their hair cut.
You can see the horses pulling some of the carts there. They're training the horses there in the center. Some dancing. More like parade floats. The lights set up, the generators back there. Of course, back in the back you can see this is the Big Top Circus. We're seeing the back half of it. There's some sea lions. More camels. Looks like the three kings there. We have some ostriches pulling some carts. They were working on the high wire, it looks like. The bicycle may have fallen. You can see...
There's ostriches.
You can see the other animals back in the back there. The lions, the tigers, the panthers. There's even bears, oh my. This is the medic tent. Just a whole city of its own. All of them working on all of their things. Here's the dressing tent for everyone getting dressed to go out on stage. There's high wire acts up there. Looks like a walrus right there. Of course they have the tank for the walrus. They had to have the pump for it. Their own fire department. There's even an area that if you rode your bike to the circus, you could check your bike in for 10 cents. And they always kept in an area where they could easily access any of their guests. So they have a parking lot to the left, the trolleys coming through over here, and then this is just the main area of the circus. This area here would be for food, souvenirs, your reserved seating, and then you have your side shows as part of their own tent there, and everything there is to come. You have your Barker right there, cotton candy, balloons, and of course to the big show. And that would take you into the main tent. As you can see down here, you can see that they are working on putting up the poles and stuff for the tent. The first tent you would see when you go into the big show would be the Menagerie, so you would see all the different animals in which they had. And you can see there are tons and tons of different animals, and each one on their cart has what goes in the cart for when it's transported. And look how many elephants are back there. And the food we saw earlier is here at the food prep tent, and then you would head into the big top, or the main tent for the show itself. And you can see that the elephants are back there working on the show to get ready, and all these animals are fed ahead of time. Then of course the big top had several things going on. You always wanted to be in the main circle because that was the cooler part of the show. And there's so much going on. Of course, not all of this, absolutely everything went on at the same time.
Actually, it did.
But not all together, not the entire show. Each one had a certain time, but they were all going 3 rings at the same time.
Yes, the 3
So what
rings
I'm
were
saying
always going at the same
is the
time.
animals are all going at the same time, and then the trapeze are all going at the same time, but they're not going at the same time as the animals, because that wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, but there was always something going on in each ring.
Right.
At the same time.
You can see they're sitting here training the different animals to do the different things, to be prepared for when they do it themselves. We have all these little dogs. Back there you can see the horses. And then there's other stuff, like here's the repair area and the paint area. And of course, not only do they have one horse tent, but they have 2, because you gotta remember, There were show horses, which were in the first tent we saw, but there were also work horses because they didn't have enough money to have cars for absolutely everyone, so a lot of times they just took the horses into town. I think one of the elephants got out and away from the show. Then along with the show horses, the riding horses, of course there are the baggage horses, which these are guys that actually carried the team. They took care of hauling all of the equipment from the train to where their main location was going to be. So Mom, you said altogether it was about 150 train cars?
So in order to move the whole circus with all the workers, all the animals, and all the performers, it took a total of 100 cars. And John and Mabel Ringling had their own car.
Their personal train car.
Yes, personal train car.
Right. Look at this beautiful chariot. I think horses would pull it. Or we saw ostriches. Or zebras. Here's some of the posters that were up against the wall painted and then sort of plastered onto the wall. Now it starts down there, but as you follow through you can see this is the whole parade and its miniatures and its different shows. It goes all the way down. It's a lot. This is where we picked up and it's still going all the way around. Imagine playing a trombone while sitting on a horse, but still all the way around. I think this parade actually goes all the way around the building. What do you think, Mom?
I think so.
So I don't think we'll be able to show you the entire thing. Well, we may be able to. Oh, nope. I see an end. There is an end in sight to this parade.
So right now I'm up to 1903.
Wow.
Oh, Michael, here's a beautiful picture of the whole thing.
And still the parade continues to go. Here's the whole thing from the top so you can see that it was a full city. Just a full thing. You still don't even see the sideshow tent down here.
No.
Now they also have some full-size vehicles. This is the ticketing cart where you would buy your ticket. You can see some of the different cars down here along with one of the animal transports. And then to the right here is the Wisconsin. And the Wisconsin was John and Mabel's personal train car that Mom was talking about a little earlier. Now this is how tight quarters it was in a train car to be able to walk down the train car. So Mom, go ahead and stand there to just show
How wide the aisle was?
Yes, so you would have to turn yourself to be able to walk down the aisle. So starting from the front of the cart to the back, we have the kitchen. There's an area right here for shaving. Goes into a dining area, dining car. There's a small little desk here to do paperwork. Nice seating area. We move into a small bedroom with what looks like a queen-size bed. Then we have a bathroom. You got your toilet and your bathtub. Another sleeper, which seems to be a bunk bed. You can tell with the ladder up above. A little sink. More seating as we move farther down. And another like sitting lounge study area towards the end of the car. With all this seating, you can see there's a record player set up. Just absolutely astounding. Could you imagine riding on this thing? Wow. And it's more than likely the Caboose. It has the Caboose lights on, which would make sense. However, I don't know about you guys, but I would not want to be the Caboose after all of those animals. So it was probably before the animals. Here we have a whole bunch of different wheel designs for the different cars. that were brought to move the equipment and to move the animals, like a car like this. As you can see, it has 2 smaller wheels on the front, 2 bigger wheels on the back, and then we also have large sideshow posters that would be out in front of the sideshow tent. The last view of the train car, and then a couple more cars from this side that were on the train itself. It was a lot.
Yes.
It was a lot, and I ain't lying, but he is. Now,
Yeah, right there.
yes. Now, it being the end of our day, of course, last week we did not have a trivia because sadly I have been sick for the last couple weeks. I haven't been able to come out and about, or oot and a boot. So we didn't have a trivia question last week, so we don't have a prize to give out for last week because there was no question. But for this week, we do have a trivia question. Now the prize will be this pin from the Ringling Brother Circus.
This pin.
Yep. So that is from the Ringling Brother Circus Museum.
Yes.
And the question is, earlier we saw where
John and Mabel.
John, Mabel,
And Ida.
were interred.
Yes.
But what was Ida to John and Mabel?
What was the relationship?
Correct. So that is the question. What was Ida's relationship to John and Mabel?
Yes.
So, and once again, the prize is that pin.
This pin right here.
So thanks for joining us. Keep laughing with us.
Don't forget to message through Facebook your answer. Don't give it away to everybody else by just like blurting it onto the
Correct.
video comments.
Message us on Facebook. I cannot stress it enough. I've already deleted comments of people giving us answers.
Right.
So please message us on Facebook, or you can use Instagram. You can message us there too. The answer, just message us, not comment.
Correct.
So thanks for joining us. Keep laughing with us.
Subscribe and like.
And bye, guys.
Bye.